The rain fell in thick curtains that night, drumming against the windows of the towering high-rise that overlooked the city. Inside, Harold Kingsley, the billionaire CEO of Kingsley Enterprises, stared into a glass of 60-year-old scotch. The fire crackled behind him, but its warmth didn't reach his heart. He had everything: money, power, a fleet of luxury cars and properties around the world. Yet tonight, a strange emptiness gnawed at his chest. He had buried his father that morning, and not a single tear came, not one. As the clock struck midnight, he heard a knock. Strange. His penthouse had 24-hour security and a private elevator. No one could come up uninvited. He opened the door. Standing in the hallway, soaked to the bone, was an elderly woman. Her clothes were simple, patched in places, and her eyes tired but alert. "I'm sorry to disturb you," she said quietly, "but I was told you might help. My grandson, he's very sick. The clinic turned us away." Harold blinked, confused and mildly irritated. "How did you get up here?" "The doorman. He said you might listen. He should have called security. He should have closed the door." But something in her voice, steady, calm, and oddly familiar, made him hesitate. "Come in," he said, stepping aside. She entered without fuss, water dripping from her shawl. She looked around the luxurious room, taking nothing in with her eyes. No awe, no envy, only focus. "I'm sorry for the intrusion," she said again, "but we have no money. I was told you fund charities sometimes." Harold exhaled sharply. "So you're asking for money?" "I'm asking for time," she corrected. "He needs medicine. He's 8. His name is Sam." Harold poured himself another drink, then looked at her again. "Do you know who I am?" "I do." "Then you should know I don't do handouts. Everyone wants something." She met his gaze. "Maybe. But what do you want, Mr. Kingsley?" The question was absurd. He wanted nothing. He had everything. "Excuse me?" he said, tone sharpening. "You don't look happy," she said gently, "and people who have everything but no peace often forget what truly matters." Harold chuckled bitterly. "And what exactly would a woman like you know about happiness?" She stepped forward, close enough that he could see the lines carved deep into her face. Marks of hardship, not age. "I lost my husband in a fire. I lost my daughter to cancer. I have one grandson left. We live on $300 a month. And yet," she said, voice unwavering, "I sleep with a heart that is full, because I have love, because I have purpose." Harold's smirk faltered. She placed a folded photo on the table. "That's Sam. If you can help him live, you'll never regret it." Then, without waiting for his answer, she turned and walked out into the rain once more. The next morning, Harold found the photo still sitting on the table. Something about the child's eyes haunted him. Curiosity took hold, and he made a few calls. Within hours, he discovered the woman, Mary Whitlock, lived in a rundown part of the city. Her grandson had been refused care due to lack of insurance. The child had pneumonia, easily treatable, potentially deadly. He paid the clinic, quietly, anonymously. He told himself it was nothing, just a way to forget that strange conversation, but he couldn't forget. Weeks passed. One evening, as Harold was leaving his office, he saw her again, Mary, standing by the fountain near the building. "How did you know I'd be here?" he asked. "I didn't," she replied, with a gentle smile. "But thank you. For Sam." He raised an eyebrow. "I didn't?" "You did." She reached into her bag and handed him something wrapped in old paper. "He painted this for you." It was a child's drawing, crude but colorful. A man in a tall building, smiling beside a small boy with a dog. "He says you're his hero," she said softly. Harold held the paper for a long moment, Something stirred inside, something long buried. "I've donated millions," he muttered, "but no one ever called me a hero." "Because you were buying relief," she said, "not connection." She turned to leave again, but paused. "There's an art class at the community center. Sam's in it. You should come." Harold Kingsley, titan of finance, found himself driving to a dusty community hall 2 days later. Inside were chipped floors, peeling walls, and laughter, so much laughter. And there was Sam, alive, grinning, chasing a paper airplane. When their eyes met, the boy ran and hugged him like they'd known each other for years. "Mr. Kingsley, I made another picture." He showed him a new drawing. Harold laughed, genuinely, for the first time in months. It became routine. He'd visit once a week, quietly. No one knew. No press, no fanfare. He helped fix the center's roof, bought art supplies, sponsored meals, not for recognition, but because it felt right. And through it all, Mary watched silently, never asking for anything more. One night, as they sat outside the center, Harold finally asked, "Why did you come to me that night?" She looked at him, then up at the stars. "Because I knew you were empty. I've seen that look before, in soldiers, addicts, widows, people who've lost their way no matter how much they have." She smiled. "I didn't come to ask for help. I came to offer it." A year later, Kingsley Enterprises launched a foundation for inner city children. Harold spoke at the opening, standing beside Sam and Mary. The crowd cheered, but as the cameras flashed, Harold knew the real lesson had happened in silence, on a stormy night, in a warm room, with nothing but an old woman's steady eyes and a child's folded drawing. And for the first time, he didn't feel like a man who had everything. He felt like a man who finally had enough. The end.